What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. We have made it through another week, and unfortunately some bad news on the weather side because our friends in the Caribbean are going to have a terrible weekend and getting into the early stages of next work week. Melissa, there's a 20% shot for downpours this weekend. Most of the weekend, though, is going to be dry. I'm doing good tonight, doing well tonight, Jody. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you're doing okay as well. Elizabeth reporting it is 74 in Orlando. Melissa's wearing a hoodie. Kevin, good evening. Yeah, if you're wearing a hoodie now, just wait until next week because holy cow. The coolest air of the season slices through Florida, and it's not even close. Some places are going to be waking up in the 40s on Halloween morning. No doubt the coolest air of the season. It could be the coolest Halloween in more than 10 years. Big time cold air coming through. And then a lot of the show for the last few nights is going to be based on Melissa because it's still a tropical storm. It is finding itself, though. It was getting beat up by wind shear to a degree. It still is. It's still being bullied around a little bit. But this weekend, the wind shear backs off, and unfortunately, it's going to go nuts in all likelihood. So we're going to get into that too. Post in the comments if you have any questions. If you're finding the show for the first time, I would love it if you post in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from, any kind of feedback of the show, how to make it better, as we are here every single night, Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 on News 6 Plus and on the News 6 YouTube page, of course. Paul is asking, is there a comet visible? There are actually two, Comet Swan, and the other one is the other one, the more visible one. It starts with an L. Come on, come on. I had my coffee early today, so my brain isn't firing. It starts with an L. There are two comets. The one with the L, it's a little more visible. I don't think it's naked eye visible I don't think it's naked eye visible. I've not been able to see it myself with my naked eye, but it's just underneath the Big Dipper right now. So you can hang out there and watch that comet for sure. If you have binoculars, that should be good enough. So two comets visible. It starts with an L. It's going to bug me. It's going to bug me. If anybody knows what it is, post it in the chat because it is going to bug me. Lemon. Comet Lemon. That's the one that's more visible. Okay, nothing like Hail Bop though. And like I love comets. I love comets, but like until we get a Hail Bop again, I'm not that jazzed about it. Hey, what's up, Big Ray 19 Deuce? Welcome. First time watching from Atlanta. Thanks for tuning in. You are going to be the beneficiary of this super cool air as well. All of this blue that extends well through Georgia. This is below normal temperatures from the time frame of October 30th through November 3rd. And that is going to blast down behind that cold front again, really Wednesday into Thursday of this upcoming week. We're talking 40s. Northwest of I-4 possibly, certainly Gainesville, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, and then into Georgia, no doubt. It is going to be wild. I want to show you, just to give you like an early heads up, this is Thursday. These are the high temperatures on Thursday, October 30th. I mean, blue across the board. We are way below normal. 68 in Pensacola. 67 in Jacksonville, 75 in Orlando on Thursday. It's going to feel oh so nice. 79 in Miami. We had some questions last night. Is this one going to actually go through Miami? And yeah, you actually get a cold front. Early season cold front as well for Miami. So this one does it. And then this is on Halloween, a little bit cooler, right smack dab in Central Florida. Jacksonville in the upper 60s, Orlando in the low 70s, Vero Beach, we're at 75, Tampa, we are at 74 tomorrow. The persistent northwest wind also, it's kind of Melissa and this cold front working in tandem. By the way, I showed this last night, and for anybody tuning in, I've been very disappointed with you've heard me rant about this, so I'm not gonna rant about it, with just still the people that say, oh, Floridians need to watch out. And while I would agree that, like, yeah, it's always good to pay attention to the weather, even if it's not coming here. Just always things can go wrong. There is literally a giant shield of cold, sheared up air that is going to force Melissa away from the southeast corner of the United States and as it works towards Bermuda. There's all the blue color there. That's October 31st. That is Halloween. That is what happens with Melissa. We're going to break down Melissa at length. We have a few people on from the Caribbean. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We're thinking about you guys in Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, Turks and Caicos. This is kind of where they get the worst of the worst. We're going to be fine tuning this weekend who gets the eye wall, which wait till you see the wind forecast on the other side of this break for Jamaica. It's pretty wild. If the core stays on the island, there is a slight chance that it could wobble to the east of the island. That would obviously be best case scenario. But you see the pressure, if you were with us last night, that was north of 1,000 millibars. Now it's fallen to 993. That means it is strengthening. And it also doesn't look like it's a whole big discombobulated mess. We have a circulation. We have thunderstorms around that center. We do still have some wind shear battling it. That is expected to relax tomorrow and especially Sunday. And then that is when it's unfortunately expected to rapidly intensify. So before our first break, I do want to show you the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. And it's wild. Okay, it's wild. This 155 is that one right down in here. I know that kind of the plates are all over the place because it's such a slow-moving storm. It's hard to get those plates that have the wind speed on them. So just bear with me a little bit. That 155 is where that 4 is right there, and then staying at 155. And then there it is, Hurricane Center's center line of the cone. And remember, we don't pay attention to the center line exactly because the cone is to account for the error of where that center of the storm could go. So really the entire island of Jamaica under the gun for a landfall. Maybe it doesn't make landfall and we keep the core of the eye wall offshore. That would be lovely. I think that's me wish casting a little bit. I'll show you some of the models in just 1 second. But the Hurricane Center forecasting a Cat 4 with 140 mile per hour sustained winds, either coming ashore on Jamaica or getting very, very close to the island of Jamaica. We're going to look at some of the models in 1 second, and we're also going to take a look back in 1988. Hurricane Gilbert is the Hurricane Gilbert is the storm of record that most Jamaicans will talk about. That was in 1988. I'm going to show you the differences of Gilbert versus Melissa coming up in just 1 second. In 3 minutes on the other side of the break. If you have any questions, please post that in the comments. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to News 6 at 9:30. Of course, prayers up for sure. We do have a few people watching, tuning in from Jamaica and the Caribbean tonight. It's another reason why we do these live streams. It's a tough night to forecast the weather for sure when you see something that has the potential of this going through. So it's I don't like these nights. When we're looking at something like this, but we're going to do the best we can here to give anybody that's just interested in the weather, just kind of what we're looking at scientifically and meteorologically speaking. And then, of course, for our friends in the Caribbean that may be tuning in for some information as well, these are the latest models. Well, you're not seeing anything but my big head. So let's get back over to the screen here. These are the latest computer models. The white color there, that is the Hurricane center line. The orange color, that is the consensus model. That's one of the more reliable models there, at least that we use here on these kind of spaghetti plots. We're going to go over several different models through the course of the show tonight. The GFS caved. Okay, we've been talking about this for weeks when people were it was either going to Florida, it seemed like, even though nothing really suggested that, and we had the cold front again that would prevent it from coming to Florida, or it was people were sharing the crazy rainfall numbers in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. It is going to rain significantly in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, as I'll show you in 1 second. But the GFS were showing like a due north to northeast movement. That was always going to be wrong. It was getting the storm too strong too quick. We knew it was going to be weak because of the wind shear. It has caved. I mean, I would like this scenario. If we do have to get a storm, I would like that purple line because it would keep the eye wall, for the most part, off of the island of Jamaica. Realistically speaking, though, most everything has a landfall in Jamaica sometime late Monday into Tuesday. That there's some wiggle room in the timeline depending upon how far west this thing goes. Jamaica's in there somewhere. These are the European ensembles. I like to show these because there's different initial conditions put in. Okay, what if the storm gets stronger fast? What if it's slower? What if the high is stronger? What if the dip in the jet stream stronger? We can see the range of outcomes, and the outliers really are few and far between for that. I mean, look at all the lines that go over Jamaica. That west movement is clear, and then that northeast motion to Jamaica, then eventually Cuba. So in all likelihood, significant impacts are coming to the island. Rick O and some of the and Neek, if you could tell me, some people I saw on Twitter tonight, and please post this in. I've never visited the island of Jamaica. I want to get there someday. I want to get to all the Caribbean islands because we do talk about the Caribbean a lot because we're neighbors, of course. Florida's just right up the road. I know we have a lot of people from Puerto Rico, from Jamaica, from Haiti, from Cuba, from the Dominican Republic living in Florida, and that's another reason why I'm spending so much time on Melissa because I know you guys may have family there as well. So we're watching for your family and friends. But if you guys could tell me, how is Jamaica in handling these types of storms? Now, a Cat 4 is significant, and there really hasn't. I mean, we had Beryl last year, but the core stayed off the island. I saw on Twitter tonight that people were saying that, okay, Jamaica can handle this fairly well. I would be interested in getting your guys' take that knows firsthand if you are still on the chat and if you're still on the stream tonight so that I can learn better when I pass along this information. Here's the potential timeline. This is the European model. You see that eye kind of forming and then it kind of working its way back to the northeast somewhere in central Jamaica. That's early in the morning on Tuesday, 3 o'clock in the morning. Clouds and rain forecast, and then working its way into Cuba by early in the morning on Wednesday, and then Turks and Caicos late Wednesday into Thursday before it's all said and done. The heavy rain, though, will continue Thursday into Friday on Hispaniola as that moisture kind of surges in out of the Caribbean toward the area of low pressure that will still be at that point Hurricane Melissa. Okay, now this is going to be kind of wild. And I want to kind of preface this as first and foremost, we're looking at wind gusts, okay, not sustained winds. The other thing we're looking at where this core develops, I don't know exactly where it goes. So not everybody is going to get the wind that is kind of tightly around the center. This is something that we're going to fine tune. And when they get strong, they wobble. So it's kind of hard to know exactly. However, this ball right here is the eye wall. This is the European model. This is these are the wind gusts on the south end of the island. I mean, look how close that is to Kingston. Um, we're talking about wind gusts potentially 120, 130 plus miles an hour in that area as the storm makes landfall. Um, so that's 100% damaging. I don't know who I asked before about it. How is the island equipped to handling that? I mean, if this came to the United States and we got 130 mile per hour wind gust, that's going to do a lot of damage. And that's what we're kind of looking at here. Again, the sustained wind forecast is 140 at landfall. So we're likely going to have gusts again pushing 130, maybe even higher than that. The core again goes over Kingston, according to the European, and then it works up toward Jamaica. And there you go. Wind gusts, even in Cuba, or working up toward Cuba, I should say, leaving Jamaica, but still on the eastern side of the island, 90 to 100 plus mile per hour wind gusts, not out of the question. I mean, that should be a Cat 2 as it goes through going forward. The rainfall also going to be significant. 2 to 3 feet of rain on the island of Jamaica. And then maybe 1 to 2 feet of rain in eastern Cuba. Still talking 2 to 3 feet of rain still for the southern half of Haiti, even though the core is staying away from us. It's just pulling in all of that moisture from the Caribbean, riding up the mountains, and then dropping back down. Okay, so this is good insight here. Jamaica, very nice place. I've always heard great things about Jamaica. Most of the homes, I don't think we would have handled Cat 4 hurricane. I mean, I don't know of really any infrastructure that can handle Cat 4 winds. I know that I know like post Michael and the Panhandle, there are a few houses that were built to withstand a Cat 5 and things like that. But on a large scale, I mean, 140 mile per hour winds is kind of hard to push up. To kind of fight off. So again, that's one of the reasons why obviously we're thinking about you, and hopefully this year just wins out, something unexpected happens, and just the whole thing just collapses. Again, that is a wish cast. I do want to give the best information in a realistic site. Alrighty, guys, I have to get my second break in. Coming back, we're going to look at Hurricane Gilbert's track from 1988. That has long been the storm of record for Jamaica, at least from everybody that I know that has either lived there or his family lived there. It's always, always, always Gilbert. We're going to take a look about, we're going to take a look at what Gilbert did, how it came through, coming up in just a couple minutes. Alrighty, guys, we just have a few minutes left. Thank you so much for tuning in over the last week. Again, going through another week of some wild weather, at least not in Florida, but in the Caribbean, watching for our friends in Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos. As what is a slop fest right now in terms of Melissa, but boy, it is likely going to rapidly strengthen over the next few days. In the chat, I have a link to our News 6 live stream that has an automated loop of real-time weather data coming in. So I have that pinned to the top of the chat. That's going to be rolling all weekend long. So if you want to watch this kind of come together on the satellite, get the latest data from the Hurricane Center and everything like that, just hit that subscribe button. You can come to the page, and then it's going to clearly say Tracking Melissa with the News 6 logo on there. And then again, you can watch that all weekend. So what I'm looking at here is the historical track for Hurricane Gilbert back in 1988. Intensified into a Category 4 storm on the southeast corner of the island right there, and then quote unquote weakened to a Cat 3 as it came ashore just south of Kingston. That would have put Kingston on the dirty side of the storm, that right front quadrant, and then just kind of buzzsawed across the entire island of Jamaica. So a super, obviously, significant storm there. Again, a Category 3 landfall. Melissa has the opportunity to be way worse than Gilbert, and that's saying something. Because if it comes ashore, the Hurricane Center has it coming in right here. That puts everything in this side on the dirty side of the storm, which is the worst side. Potential for tornadoes there, the heaviest rain, the strongest winds, all on the right-hand side. So it's kind of a very weird hurricane track, because more often than not, if Jamaica gets hit, they're coming in like Gilbert did and not like Melissa's going to. So they kind of make their long trek across from Africa. And that was a wild one, for sure. Alrighty, guys. I want to thank you a ton for tuning in. Thank you for the conversations. Thank you for all the interaction that we had this week. Again, that live stream is going to be live all week long, or all weekend long into the early stages of next work week. And you can check that out. And again, it's that same loop that I showed during our break. So I have it kind of tied to watch the rapid intensification of Melissa over the weekend, Sunday into Monday, and then the latest models, the latest track from the Hurricane Center, and all of that stuff. So you can dial that up there. I have the link posted in the comments. You can copy that link and save it. Again, it's going to be live there. You can hit that subscribe button as well. Even if you're outside of Central Florida, we do those kind of weather loops all the time. So you can watch that, and again, just kind of see how this comes together through the weekend. I think there's a lot of good stuff there as we just kind of watch and wait for Melissa to unfortunately strengthen. Alrighty, guys, I have to go get ready for News 6 at 10. That is coming up next. We are going to talk a lot more about the chill coming in for Halloween into Florida, and then the more humid weekend as well. It is going to be a little more humid Sunday into Monday. There are a few rain chances out there. So we're going to break that part of the forecast coming down when we talk about our local weather at News 6 at 10. And then, of course, on the TV side of things at News 6 at 11. Of course, if you're watching on News 6 Plus, you don't have to go anywhere. And in just about 2 minutes, that's going to start. If you're on YouTube, it's a different thumbnail. Just kind of push over to that. It'll say News 6 at 10. And I'll catch you guys in a couple of minutes. If not, I will see you on Monday. We'll no doubt be tracking Melissa in real time as it gets really close to Jamaica. Again, thinking about our guys, friends in Jamaica. We're praying for you all. Please be safe. We're thinking about you, and I'll catch you on Monday, 9:30, News 6 Plus, and the News 6 YouTube page.